I've already cried. I'm probably going to cry some more. Fair warning. To talk about this. And the 5 major takeaways that I have from this case, things that we've learned as a country, racial reconciliation, what that could look like moving forward. And I think the biggest sigh of relief from all of this. The first thing to understand is we are literally experiencing history. That's why the weight of this is so heavy. Because it's not just this moment, it's the Plessy versus Ferguson. It's the Brown versus Board of Education. It's the Dred Scott versus Sanford. We are bringing in all of these pivotal civil rights cases from the past that have really shaped the trajectory of the future and the way Black people are treated and viewed in this country. The second lesson here is the bully didn't win. When I look at this case, Derek Chauvin was the bully. And if you've ever been bullied in school, it sucks when the bully gets away. They steal your money, they beat you up, they get away and they're not held accountable. And they're able to continue that behavior with no repercussions or consequences. The bully didn't win here. For generations, the police have treated Black people like animals. Like animals. This is so much more than a race issue. This is a humanity issue. And getting people to see Black people as humans. And that's what it comes down to. And for decades, for generations, for so long, the law enforcement has been a gang of bullies with no accountability, able to get away with doing whatever they want, whenever they wanted. And that was just that. The third lesson here is that this is going to scare accountability back into the police force, at least a little bit. Because even though from the outside this was a clear open and shut case, this has been a year's worth of just carrying the weight of, man, although we can see from the outside this is so horrendous and you're guilty. This is a clear guilty verdict. We still held our breath because that's the country we live in. That's the justice system that we've been born into. But I feel like there's going to be a little bit more accountability that's going to be scared back into some law enforcement. Not all of them, not all of them, but it's a step. It's a step. The fourth lesson here is watching the family members speak and share their joy with everyone, and watching everyone, the team of people behind them. It was like you saw decades of accumulated progress. And one of the family members mentioned how they were so excited that Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton got to live to see this day come to pass, because all the work that they've done in this civil rights movement of the past and present, like, it all led to this moment. And even though it's such slow progress, it's still progress, and that feels really, it gives you a little bit of faith. The fifth lesson is that it's still so bittersweet, because you have to sacrifice the chicken to get the egg. Even though you have the egg, the chicken is gone, and the chicken can no longer produce more eggs. And you look at this and you think of all the people for the first time in their life moving their allyship from the sidelines to getting in the game, putting on a helmet, suiting up and saying, okay, Glow, I see the movement. I understand now. And I think in the last year, I've been both disappointed and encouraged by the amount of white people I'm personally connected to that spoke up for the first time. And even though it's like, man, I've known you for 20 years and this is the first time you want to talk about it, even though it's still really disheartening, it's like they can't close their eyes anymore. Once your eyes have been opened, you can't close them back. You can't unsee atrocity. And George Floyd, it's so sad that it took his death to wake this country up. And I don't want more lives and more hashtags to have to happen in order for progress to come about. And it's just like, how many more sacrifices does the Black community have to make for more people to get it? That's it. This is a step. Obviously, this is still raw. I knew I would cry. It's still so raw and it's so heavy, and it's, you feel hopeful, but you still feel sad, and the duality of just hope, but then also disappointment, frustration, sadness, and there's a lot more work we have to do. And as someone who accidentally became this activist voice online, I I realize that this work is, I mean, it's just so much bigger than me. And when I show up to educate on Instagram, it's not for, I'm not carrying the fight of racism on my back. I'm just doing as much as I can within my capacity, hoping to inspire another person to say, man, if Glow can do that, if Glow can speak up, if Glow can put this, you know, burden on her shoulders, how else can I show up? What else can I do? And it's not a solo fight. It's not a solo effort. I know that this is going to take so much more work. And the thing about the Black community and the thing about us is like, we're tired of being disappointed by white people. And it's hard sometimes to know who's really for us, who's speaking up when it's convenient, when it's trendy, when it's a PR move. You know, it's hard. And asking for help and telling you guys, like, we need you takes a lot of swallowing of the pride, you know, but I'm saying it personally, like, we need you guys. You know, we need people, non-Black people, to step up and help us, because I hope in my lifetime I don't have to die seeing more hashtags. I hope that I can die knowing that, man, there hasn't been any police brutality cases in the last decade. Like, what, man, how good would that feel? You know, so got a lot of work to do, but today's history, and that feels good. I don't have anything else to say. Thanks for watching, and this is the time to double down on your kindness, double down on who you're connected with. Some of you guys have never had a Black friend in your life. Like, it's not acceptable. And it's not that you need to go fishing for Black friends, but get acquainted with Black stories, Black artists, Black authors. Like, you can learn about our humanity through other ways. So heavy. It's so heavy, but I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful. God is so good.